Hi. Welcome back. And as per usual, I'm a fucking mess. And mainly because like I've been gone for 2 weeks. I've been MIA from here. Because this is always just doing some shit out in another fucking galaxy. No idea what's going on, but my brain has just been exiting the building quite frequently lately. And I feel extremely lost and get depressed because this fucker, this never leaves. It's always like, hey, what's up? Take care of me. Maybe we should do some lovely self-therapy, figure your shit out. I don't know, like maybe if they could like swap sometimes, that would be great. If I could just like not focus so much on like feeling so many emotions that it makes me physically ill, or feel like a couple weeks goes by and I have no idea what I did in that entire time. So so anyways, that's there we go. I'm a mess. I'm back. I'm here. I'm just gonna fucking leave that. So again, as the usual, I don't have a fucking clue what I'm gonna talk about. I always have these ideas in my head, like literally daily. I'm like, I could talk about this, like whatever, like, because there's so many things that indirectly or directly pertain to mental health, whether they're my experiences, others' experiences, therapy, different types of mental health disorders. There's all kinds of shit. Like you could talk about it till the cows come home. They'll never come home. There'll be no cows. I love cows. They're so cute. Anyways, so what I decided whilst conveying that message to you, there we go, is that I would like to, because it's been kind of coming up lately and indirectly in my life, forms of, I don't want to say domestic abuse. Sorry. Also, I gotta say, trigger warning. I'm probably gonna be talking about, maybe discussing a little bit about a little bit of violence, being mistreated by partners, family, friends, toxic relationships, etc. Just so you know. So there's your warning. But something that has been really kind of floating around across my feed anyway lately. I keep seeing people, I don't know, maybe it's because people are kind of coming out of COVID and they're stuck in what they felt was the only option they had, maybe, whether it be with living with family, friends, a partner. And in terms of being, when you're in a toxic relationship, especially, I find especially with a partner, because that's somebody that you choose to be with because you want to give them love, your affection, you want to have that reciprocated, you want to be respected, you want to be able to, become their best friend, confide in them, like them take care of you. Essentially, you want to feel loved and comfortable and safe when you are with a partner. And all too often, there are instances where people are getting into these relationships, and I hate to just direct it completely at narcissists, but a lot of people, whether they have narcissistic personality disorder or they just tend to be somewhat of a gaslighting, lying piece of shit, like whatever, I'll say it, gaslighting, lying piece of shit, whatever. If you have those traits and somebody gets in a relationship with these people, it's very hard for anybody on the outside to understand what you are going through, what you are constantly witnessing and being exposed to. I am going to speak from my own personal experience. I've had a couple of really bad relationships, we'll just say, both mentally and physically abusive. And I myself, when I was quite young, had one when I was 19. And I thought, like this is what a relationship's supposed to be. Like, they care about you. They're kind of, like they want to be with you. They're obsessive a little bit, maybe a little bit possessive. I don't know. I didn't know. I was 19. And as you, like get to know this person better, like we moved in together. As you get to know this person, You know, like things kind of slip through the cracks and you don't really pay attention because you're like, okay, well, like I met this person this way and they're awesome most of the time. So, you know, like as far as I'm concerned, they love me. They like, you know, whatever. Like, and you kind of just let little things here and there like slide through these cracks until finally there's this like big fucking hole, like essentially an earthquake has happened and you're like what the fuck? Like what happened between then and now that this person all of a suddenly just seems like the biggest piece of shit in the world, but you don't really register that. All you're thinking is, this is my life, you know? Like, that's how I felt anyway. I can't speak on anybody else's personal experiences, but that was my life at the time. I lost friends. I lost respect from other people in my life, coworkers, people who had kind of seen, like, dabbled on what was going from the outside. They were just like, like, he doesn't treat you good. Like, you should leave him. And I'm like, yeah, well, yeah, okay, yeah. But it's not that easy. And people would be like, yeah, like you're stupid, or like it's your fault you're fucking staying with him, and this your fault this happened to you. Like I'm sorry, I'm gonna start by saying something right now. I don't give a fuck if you agree with me or not. It is not my fault. It is not your fault if you are with somebody who is beating you. If somebody hurts you mentally or physically or both, it's not your fault because you're with them. It is so hard. That's what I'm trying to explain. It is so hard mentally to get in any mindset, any like normal frame of mind, to even consider that you might be allowed to leave that person. Okay? Like maybe some of you, if you've experienced the same type of abuse, you'll understand what I'm saying. You cannot from the outside. Like I've lost good friends. One of my best friends bailed on me because yes, I did. Physically a few times I bailed on her because my ex would be like, yeah, like I don't know, like I want you to stay in with me tonight. Okay, go out with your friends, it's fine. And meanwhile, like while this is happening, this back and forth gaslighting, stupid fucking bullshit, ruining my judgment completely, like breaking me down, being like, okay, like my friend's like, okay, well, cool, like we'll do this, and texting, because just had like flip phones had just come out kind of like 2-3 years before that, so texting. And I'm not even fucking kidding you, I can't make this shit up. Friend shows up at my door, and then my ex was like, I don't want to drop names, maybe in the future I'll tell you guys this shit, but ex is like from the couch watching TV as I'm ready to go out, after we literally flip-flop for about 45 minutes being like, yeah, go out, it's fine, or no, I don't want you to go out, like stay with me, blah blah blah. So friend shows up at door, he's like from the couch watching TV, like I said, yeah, I don't want you to go out, I want you to stay here with me, I don't feel like you should go out right now. So that happened a lot, but that one instance, that was a friend of mine for years, and over time, of course, she was just like, like, you keep bailing on me. And from her perspective, from what she could witness herself with her own eyes and her own ears, is that I just kept bailing on her. All she saw was, you're with a shitty person, I don't know why you are, you're fucking stupid, and we're not friends anymore. And that shit is really hard, because at the time I believed that I was in the wrong, that there's something that I should have been doing way different. Like why can't I just leave this person? What is going on with my other relationships? Like I'm losing it. I was losing grip of my reality. And my reality, though, let me tell you, was very skewed, because he would say such things as, I don't like the way you cut your hair, I don't even want to look at you, like put extensions in, I don't like that color on you, maybe you could lose a little weight, you know what, you're never gonna do better than me, I'm not attracted to you right now. Like it was fucking everything. And he literally couldn't do a fucking thing. I was in school and I ended up working too, and he was working, and he'd come home and he'd do sweet fuck all, and he literally couldn't take one flight down in our apartment of stairs to do the laundry unless his hair was done. Like it was just, he was such a narcissist. He is such a piece of shit. And I don't know. It's neither here or there for me to say, but there are times that I wonder, well, basically, there's times that I hope that his wife and his kids are treated well. I hope that he respects them, he loves them, he gives them affection, and that he does not abuse them. And I can't help but think, like, it gets me worked up thinking about that. But anyways, back to my story. In general, nobody on the outside will, no matter how close you are with someone, how close someone is to me, they are never, ever going to understand what I'm dealing with if I'm in a toxic, abusive relationship. Like, you just can't. And the same goes, I mean, it's different, obviously, a different dynamic with friends, but I've had a couple scenarios, definitely, with friends, good, really people I thought were, like, really, really good friends of mine, close. I could confide in them. I trust them. I respected them. And, you know, I love them. Friends for years. This isn't like became friends with someone I was working with in the bar, and, like, we'd party, and then all of a sudden one day they were a bitch. No, like, I'm talking about friends that I, like, developed a good bond, strong relationship with over years. And, like, people change, and sometimes you gotta be the person to be the, I don't want to say bad guy, but sometimes you gotta let go. You gotta be willing to say goodbye, because I've had a couple of friendships where I don't know so much. It was quite a while ago. I like to pride myself in thinking that I don't really make those mistakes anymore so much. I actually am more aware. I'm more conscious of who I choose to give my time to, and who I choose to get to know and to grow with. And so this friend, one friend, we'll just throw one in, no names, not gonna do that yet. She, I don't know if it was that I was changing, or that if I was, like, maybe remaining the same that I had in the friendship, and she was changing but in a different way. I don't know exactly what the dynamic was. Like I said, it was so many, it was like almost 15 years ago, like a long time ago. And it's just, the dynamic started shifting to her, like, kind of almost attacking me here and there, trying to belittle me, or to make me feel like I wasn't maybe up to her standards. I don't know. But it gets to a point where you're like, okay, well, I don't know how to impress this person, but I love this person. I've known you for so many years. Like, you've been, you know, my heart and soul for so long. And you start questioning, like, what's wrong with you? And then there's something you can change to make it better. So you stay. Meanwhile, people on the outside, like I said, they're chirping and they're like, hey, like, that person's a piece of shit. They don't treat you good. Or she like called you a whore behind your back. Oh yeah, like all kinds of shit like that. And you're like, it's funny because, like, although I actually believed it, I'm like, yeah, like, she probably did say or do this, whatever. I'm like, I felt that I still had to get back in her good graces, if that makes sense. Like, I had done something, so I needed to earn her respect and trust back. And it keeps you holding on. These people, these narcissistic people, keep you, it's like, yeah, they keep you dangling from a string, refusing to cut it. Like, just let me fucking fall and die, okay? But yeah, they keep you on a string, and they'll make you feel so good, and they'll be like, yeah, like, this is, oh, I love you, you're the best thing that ever happened to me, like, don't change anything. And then the next minute they're like, yeah, like, I got what I want, fuck you, yeah, like, I got mine. Like, there's so many stories about, like, my experiences, other people's experiences, but that does happen. I had an experience where a guy broke up with me. He was just doing a ton of drugs, cheating on me, and I was like, this is bullshit, like, why are you doing this? And because he kept denying it, we just kept arguing. I was like, hey, well, like, we're done. And he was like, fine. Okay, fine, cool. So I went about my life again, at working 2 jobs as a stylist and in a bar. And keep in mind, this is, again, like, 13 years ago. Like, I was 21, 22. And after a couple weeks of, like, zero contact with this guy, he just is, like, calling and messaging me and I'm also gonna say that he worked, like, 2 weeks at a time, and then he'd have a couple, or, like, 6 days off. I think it was 15 days on and 6 days off in the oil field. Okay, so, like, a rigger. Okay, so these days that he was supposed to have off, he would work like these 3 weekends in a row, and then he'd get a weekend off kind of thing based on like his days off and on. So to give you a little idea of how it worked, he started like messaging me and calling me, and I was like, no, like, you treated me like shit, like, no. And he would just show up on weekends to my job. Weekends he was supposed to be working. And I ended up having to leave my shifts twice in a row on a Friday and Saturday night at the bar. And I don't even, actually looking back, I don't know how my bosses let that happen and the bouncers didn't kick him out. I think because I was still at that point where I was like, you know, like, I can't do this. I'm also like, I'm mentally fucked up right now because he's just going to keep messaging me. And I'm like, I can't work. Like, I can't work. Actually, no, they did kick him out the second night because I was like, I can't do this. But obviously it fucks with my head. And then I had the Sunday off, and then I went back to my salon job Monday, and I would work Monday to Saturday, and Thursday, Friday, Saturdays at the bar. So I'm busy as fuck. And this guy starts showing up at my salon job and is like, yeah, like, go on a lunch break with you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I can't, like, I'm working. And then finally I asked my boss, I was like, hey, like, can I? And they didn't like that. Like, down the road, they were fucking dicks about that one day that I was literally going through a mental fucking breakdown. And so this is roughly like a week after my ex had now been contacting me, and he's just like, so I went for a break. I took an hour from my salon because I wasn't booked any clients, and he's telling me how I haven't eaten in 6 days and lost weight, and you're all I think about and all this shit, and this is what they fucking do to get you. And I still, keep in mind, I'm gonna tell you more, I still like didn't give in. I took there was another 3 weekends in a row where he's like, I'm not working, like, I'm coming to see you, that should mean something. As if I'm supposed to care, as if him being a cheating cokehead before us breaking up, and now he's like begging to get back together, as if I'm supposed to care about that. Anyways, so fast forward to like a few weeks go by, and he's been doing this every single weekend, and then finally his week off, his 6 days off comes along, and he just like comes into the city, and he keeps showing up at my door at night. So finally I'm like, a night I have off, he's calling me like 2 a.m. drunk, and I'm like, you can come in and chat quick, and then I never want to fucking talk to you again, kind of thing. And he sat on the coffee table across from me and told me very sincerely with tears in his eyes, I love you. I don't know what I was thinking, and he hadn't said that before. Okay, well, cool. Pull on my fucking heartstrings. I promise I'll do better. Like, oh, like, you were right. I did this. I should have just told you. Da-da-da. I'm sorry for making you believe you were crazy, because he did. He was like, you are crazy. I'm not doing a bunch of blow. I never cheated on you. All this shit. And then you're like, okay, he is fucking persistent. That's like 4 weekends in a row he's showing up, and now he's saying he loves me, and that he's like, he promises to do better. Like music to your fucking ears, you know? And I was like, okay, well, he's tried, you know, and like, you just kind of, you forget about all the shit. Like, it's kind of hard to explain. Those of you who have been through similar experiences, please drop some comments below if you can attest to this, or if you have any disagreements or different things that have happened to you, or different ways you've dealt with it. I'd love to hear it. I mean, if it's too personal, I'll throw my email down and we can chat that way. But anyway, so now we go, this would have been in April. So now we're going to fast forward to July, and one of his favorite bands was in the city, and one of mine was, and they were kind of at this show, and kind of at the show. They're at the show, and I ended up going earlier with my brother, and then he ended up coming with friends because he lived 2 hours in a different town, and I lived in the city. So we came, met up, and he was texting me. He's like, I'm so excited to see you. Like, oh my God, like, can't wait. At the concert, he was like putting me on his, he's like on his shoulders. He's like, this is so much fun. Like, you're so much fun to be with. I love being with you. This guy also was one of those who was like, you know, you could afford to lose a few pounds, like maybe 5 pounds. You look better if you tanned. Maybe you should color your hair darker so you'd be taken more seriously. Like, shit like that. Shit like that. And it's stuff, they just fucking break you down so you feel like nobody else ever that exists in the world would ever accept you as you are, and that you are stuck with them because, I don't know, they put up with you. I don't fucking know. They sure make it they make it feel like they're your only option because they'll tolerate you. And it probably sounds really sad and pathetic to say that, and that is a fact. It makes you feel like this person is the only person that is gonna be with me because of my shit, because of the way I look, because of how I talk, I act, the person I am. The person I am. That's fucking sad. And July rolls around, and we're having fun. We're at his parents' cabin at the lake. Everything's cool. He did kind of, that was around the time I was in bikini, and he dropped the whole, like, you could lose a few pounds, you know, and maybe tan more. Tan more. And then another week goes by, and he was having a party at his place, like I said, a couple hours out of the city. And I just been messaging him. It was Saturday night, and I was actually at a family reunion that weekend. So I was busy, and I was messaging him, and I wasn't getting anything back. And so later on, I messaged him again. I was like, hey, like, how's your night? Like, you're having a party? Like, how's it going? And nothing. Like, he was kind of responding to me, but it was questionable, basically, is what I'm getting at. It was questionable. So I called his brother. So I was like, hey, like, what, like, is everything okay? Like, you guys, like, is he there? You guys partying? Is he okay? So here's the thing. Like, I knew that he had a little bit of health problems, and I knew that at one point he did a ton of blow and he would get sick, and his roommates would even be concerned, and they'd be like we don't know what's going on. Like, we're worried about him. And anyways, so this party's going on, and then he's like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. Cool. I don't hear from him that night. The next morning, I'm still like, I had stayed with family. I'm messaging him like, hey, like, are you okay? How's it going? He's like, too hungover to talk. Okay. Oh, keep in mind that when I spoke with his brother the previous night, he said that this ex that he was banging before we got together was there, and that's a whole other thing. And she's one of those girls that's like, I know you're with somebody, I don't give a fuck, I'll still bang him. Like, they're both horrible, okay? In retrospect, they're both fucking gross people. Anyways, all I got back was, I'm too hungover to talk. So I'm messaging, I'm just like, is everything okay? Like, and I heard what was there last night. Let's just call her Sam. It's easier. I heard Sam was there last night. Like, what's going on? He's like, oh yeah, she stayed in bed with my brother or whatever. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, why would she hang out with your brother? That's weird. He was kind of like seeing this other girl. Anyways, neither here nor there. That's what I was told. And he was sending weird responses. He's like, yeah, I just don't want to talk to you right now. Like, all this stuff. And I was so upset. And at the time, I was about 4 hours drive from there and 2 hours from where I live. So I was like, I can't focus. So I drove to my place really, really quick, packed a couple things, got gas, and I drove the extra 2 hours to him. And I like knocked on the door, and whatever, it was open. I walked in, and he's just sitting on the couch, just hanging out. And he just looks at me like, what are you doing here, kind of thing. He just looks at me, doesn't say anything. And I just say, you know why I'm here, don't you? And he's like, well, I have a pretty good idea. And then I proceed to tell him that he's disrespected me in so many ways, and I don't know what's going on. And I'm like, why are you lying to me? Like, what's going on? And he's just like, you know, like, just, you know, it happens. And he's like, whatever, like, you wouldn't believe me anyway. Just kind of like pussyfooting around the truth. And I ended up finally saying, like, why, like, if you were going to do this shit to me, why did you try so hard in the spring? Why did you continue to come to my place? Why did you tell me you love me? You took weeks off work. You kept coming to me to get me back. Why did you try so hard? And I'm fucking not kidding you when I say his response was that when he really wants something, he'll do everything to you know what? I'm just gonna... When I want something, I will do everything I can to get it. And when I'm done with it, well... So that was my amazing response from this guy. And obviously that wasn't any kind of remote amount of closure for me. It fucking hurt. But it also, like, I mean, I left. I was like, you know, whatever, I left. And that was that. And I hurt for a while. He didn't really contact me much again. But they make you feel like you're hopeless without them. That, like, I drove 4 hours. I left my family reunion early because I was like, losing my mind over this piece of shit human who I knew deep in my heart that was not good. Not good for me. Not good in general. Not a kind person. Not an honest person by any stretch. And I did, like, why do we as humans give so much of our time and our love and our care to people that, well, I mean, I'd like to say not deserve it, but that's way too fucking easy. Like, they're getting off easy there. Like, why do we give this to people that are shits? Like, these people fucking suck. Big dicks. And they need to choke on them. They need to, like, feel a little bit of, like, hurt and pain. I'm not saying, like, I don't wish, like, death or bad things upon these people. I don't want anything, like, detrimental to happen to them. But they need to experience something that, like, smacks them in the head and it's like, I'm a fucking idiot. I am a piece of shit. Like, I am not kind. Maybe I should do better. And you know what? It's never gonna happen. Like, just humans are humans. People kind of suck, honestly. And there are a few and far between good ones out there. So, I mean, good luck. You just have to find them. But these experiences, if anybody is going through this right now or something along this line, I'm here for you 100%. I'm just going to say that right now. However, I also want to address that if anybody tries to undermine what you're going through or to assume they understand the situation or to assume that it's just as easy as, like, leaving them, just walking away. It's not. It is not that. It's not easy. You can't just walk away. You can't just forget. Like, there's so much emotional just fucking damage caused by these people. And if you are going through this right now or have recently gone through this, like I said, I'm here for you. But just know that nobody else will ever understand what you're going through. Your hurt, your experience is yours alone. And do what you need to do, whatever that is, to make sure you're safe, that you are in a good space, that you will be okay, whatever you need to do. If people are dropping off like flies, maybe they're not good friends anyway. If people are telling you their thoughts and feelings like they have a fucking clue what's going on, if they're like, hey, like, oh, it's fine, like, I'm here for you, or, you know, like, stay with us for a while, I'm sure it'll blow over, oh, just leave. No, like, just do you, whatever that looks like, in order to make yourself safe, comfortable, and on the path to becoming happy. Okay? Because it'll happen. I hate making promises. If you were here for my first couple videos, you'd know that. But I can promise you that once you start taking care of yourself and not giving so much of you to people, especially those who do not care, who do not respect you, they don't deserve anything that you have to offer. It'll get better. It does get better. Like, I mean, here I am. I've been 2 weeks like MIA because I'm having mental health issues, and you know, like, I get through it. It will get better. Life's a roller coaster. You're never gonna be like, hey, on the up and up all the time. It's like rainbows come after it rains, and then they fade away when the sun comes out. So, okay, that's not quite how rainbows work, but for lack of a better analogy, it's like, you know, like, things will come, like, they'll be harsh, and then they'll be good, and there'll be sadness, and then they'll be amazing, and then they'll be like, you know, like, things balance out, and you're never gonna understand true happiness and true joy unless you understand, like, what can make you really sad. It's kind of like you have to understand one to know the other, you know? And it sucks. It sucks if you're like 90% of the time fucking sad, or like, what is wrong with my life? Like, just give me some like semblance of joy and hope, you know? And when it comes, it's wonderful, and it's there, and it's there for all of you, and you will find it. I promise you, and I'm here for you every step of the way. And don't. It's hard. I know it's hard. Know that you do not have to give another ounce of any care, love, any attention to somebody who is not treating you good. Whether you have like a gut feeling, if you're just like, you know, like something's off about this person or this relationship, whatever it may be, like just trust that feeling. And if you have to kind of like, almost sometimes there can be two questions. It'll be like, you know, like, do I trust my gut, or do I trust what I kind of know of this person? And at the end of the day, they both of those options kind of come down to what you believe you need or want in this situation to make you feel better, or to help you along your journey, you know? So whether it's go with your gut, because ultimately your gut's like, we gotta do this to do us, to be ourselves, or if your head's like, you know, like, I know this about this person. Okay, cool. I know this about this person. Yes, they're good. They've done some things. Cool. But is this what I need right now? Is this gonna benefit me in my life? And yeah, it's totally fucking okay to be selfish. Be selfish. Selfish is not a bad word. I don't know. People are like, oh, so, you know, don't be selfish. Okay, there's a difference. If you're just a shit human and you're selfish all the time and you take without reciprocating, or you just take because, I mean, sometimes it's all you know, but if you just take from people and you're like, I wonder how much I can get from this person till they're fucking empty, that's different. That's different. Being selfish, like, there's 3 of you, like 3 kids, and there's 2 pieces of cake, and just being like, well, I deserve the cake. No, like, that's selfish. Like, split it. It's okay to be selfish with regards to taking care of yourself. Like, somebody's like, well, let's hang out. I really want to see you. Okay, well, I don't feel like it tonight. Oh, but come on. Like, you know, we always have fun. Well, you know, like, I kind of had plans to just, like, have a bath, masturbate, whatever. Like, do your own thing. Maybe don't say the other one, because they might be like, oh my God, that's amazing. Oh my God, but you know it would be better if we did that together. No, like, just fuck the creeps. Fuck the creeps. I will kind of want to end on that note. But yeah, do you. And if somebody says they need your time, or they want to do something with you, and you're like, hey, I don't feel like it, I got other plans, I'm sick, whatever it is, you do not have to say yeah. You can be like, I'm busy. I don't feel like it. You don't even have to respond. You can be like, turn my phone off at fucking 6 p.m. and they're texting me at 6:30, 9, 10. They want a booty call at 2, whatever it fucking is. I don't have a watch, but you get the gesture. You don't owe people shit. And I know I've said that before. You don't owe people a thing. You don't owe them your care. You don't owe them your time. You don't owe them your affection. You don't. Do you look after yourself, whatever that looks like, to you. To you. Your gut, your head, whatever that looks like to you, do it. And say no, it's fine. It's not selfish. And somebody's like, oh man, you're so rude, you're so selfish. Yeah, fuck you. No, I'm not selfish for wanting to meditate tonight and wear a pink wig with glitter like that. That's fine. I don't need to go out and do shit. Not that anybody'd ask me anyway. But yeah. Again, it's been a pleasure. I hope it didn't get too crazy for all of you. I love you, and I want you to understand you matter, and you need to do you. And I know I always say don't listen to me, because I'm not a professional in any form of counseling or therapy or anything to do with that. I just know that we all deserve love and respect, and that we also all have the right to decide when we want to give ours. And you have that right too. You don't need to give it to anybody if you don't want to. And if you have a lot of love, fucking give it. Here's my love. Take it. I'll leave my email. Share some love. And yeah, if you have anything to share, comment below. I'm happy. I'll always respond the best of my ability. And yeah, nice to be here. And I look forward to hearing from people. Love you. Bye.